kick to the gut. I like it.
It's time! How you doing, my brother? It's Mr. Young.
And it's foreign in the building. Bro, what do you mean by it's time? What time is it, bro?
Well, it is time to talk about wrestling. So much stuff to get to. And in just a little while later on in the show, we'll talk about this week in wrestling, the AEW stuff, the WWE stuff. Ayo, so much tea. We're going to spill all the tea. But before that, we have to preview the upcoming Grapple Max live event. I know, right? Pro wrestling is finally live in Singapore. Once again, how excited are you for it?
Of course, I'm so excited, bro. We've been waiting very patiently for local wrestling to come back. And, there's no better time. It's showtime right now, bro. Let's do it.
That's right. Talking about Showtime, we have the one and only Showtime with us today to talk about not just the event that's coming about, but also what he's been doing for the past couple of years as well.
Not Sting, Huh? Not Sting. It's Showtime, but it's not Sting,
Oh, right, because it's time. And yes, it's Showtime. Showtime, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for having me. It's been a while, guys. Yeah, it's been a long while since I've been here.
It's been a minute. It's
been a minute. So, okay, first of all, how do you feel finally dusting off the old wrestling tights and wrestling boots and all that? And we're getting ready to do a live event here in Singapore once again, appropriately named Fuck COVID. Oh, sorry. Fuck COVID. According to the poster, anyway.
Yeah.
But how does it feel for you to finally, get ready for an event live?
No, it feels good. It's like, man, it's been a long time coming. All I can say, it's about damn time.
Yes. By the way, it's this Saturday, the 12th of February. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, sorry, sold out. This thing sold out like almost instantly, did it not?
Yeah, in 2 hours, in fact. It's the first time ever.
Yeah.
Bro, this one's sold out faster than All Out, bro. This one is like 2 hours. We didn't get tickets, bro.
Yeah,
we couldn't get.
It is what it is. The appetite for some live wrestling is there, lah. But yes, go ahead. You were about to say something, Showtime.
Yeah, fastest fingers first. Next time, use the fingers for something else, if you know what I mean.
I don't know where my fingers were at the time, but you are right. Next time, you need to get on the internet. But okay, let's rewind the clock a little bit. What have you been occupying yourself with for the past couple of years? Obviously, you haven't been stagnant, right?
No, of course not. I mean, Showtime being stagnant, are you insane? Even though I'm still a champ and still holding the belt.
Still undefeated?
Yeah, pretty much.
How many days running, bro, you've had?
Pretty much. Last I checked was 800 plus. I lost count as to the exact number of days.
Hey, forget about Roman Reigns' title reign. This is the title reign we need to talk about.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's in the past.
Bro, we were there live when you won this title. Wasn't this from Lady Killer, right?
Definitely, yep.
Cryptoweight champion now, no longer cryptoweight, now it's cruiserweight, right?
Well, I brought some sort of legitimacy back to this, and a bit more fame to it. I mean, it's on the shoulders of Showtime, though, of course, right?
True.
And to answer Young's question, yes, Showtime has been busy. It's not one where, I look around me and I see all these other pro wrestlers, they're all, complaining, they're all whining, and they're all like, moaning and groaning. They're like, oh, I can't get back to the ring, or they're doing all these silly stuff online. And the one thing that Showtime didn't want to do was become like that. Because what's the point, right? I mean, yeah, you can perform the ring, doesn't mean you can't do anything else. So what Showtime has been busy with on the outside is actually building an empire.
Nice.
A little bit more about that later on if Foreign wants to share. But basically, that's what I've been keeping myself busy with in this past, 2 years right now.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you're a regular guest on the show. You come a couple of seasons back. The last time I remember, we were talking about Singlet Body Slam. That was like in 2019. And then the very final show, I think we all saw each other in person, was the very first COVID show when there was absolutely no one in the audience and you guys did it for charity. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah, totally. How can I forget that? That was the one where I kicked Jackson in the ass.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have something to say about that. But no, that aside, so walk us through what exactly in terms of getting in physical shape, what you've been doing, to get ready for this upcoming match.
Wait, so correct me if I'm wrong, Yang. You want me to spill all my secrets right now?
Oh, I mean, what you can share, like the stuff that maybe you may or may not post on the social media. Just enough to, fill the appetite of those tuning in right now. Of course, don't need to give away the trade secrets lah.
Yeah, well, one thing that Showtime has to say is that if you're not following him on social media, you basically don't have a life, because all the stuff that I'm doing in preparation for the match has been there. But in a nutshell, all right. In a nutshell, what I'm going to share is basically, instead of just going all physical about it, because everybody's like, oh, I'm going to diet, I'm going to up my ante in terms of training. Yeah, Showtime does that as well. But the one thing that Showtime likes to double down on and focus on is actually this. Because the thing is, Showtime always believes that, you win the battle in your mind, it's 80% done. And that's what I'm going to be doing next week, because I'm going to be up against a bunch of kids.
Oh.
I'll be up against a bunch of kids. Okay?
Literally, they are kids.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because talking about the social media stuff, right? I pay attention to like the Grapple Max Facebook page, and I see like videos of them. Like I saw this video of John in like some sort of a Santa outfit during Christmas, doing running drills and everything. I was like, okay, but I don't seem to see Showtime on these videos.
There's a reason for that. There's a really strong reason for that, because what's the point in trying to gain that kind of popularity? Like I said, they're kids, right? It's the first time, it's their first foray. They want to go out there, they want to strut the stuff, they want to swag, they want to earn their name, they want to put something out there and like, hey, this is me. So of course they're gonna do all those silly little gimmicks, like put on the Santa outfit and all that crap. Showtime has time for that, please.
Yeah.
Fighting words right there.
Exactly. While John and Christian are doing all that stuff, Showtime is preparing. He's setting his game plan. Now, okay, it's interesting too, because you're talking about a game plan. How do you game plan for a tag team match where you don't know who your partner is? Or,
Yes.
or do you know who your partner is and you're not letting everybody know?
Well, let's put it at a to-need-to-know basis. And for those lucky enough to get a ticket, you will see who my partner is. For those who didn't get a ticket, well, hopefully we get the show online and you guys get to see it. But if not, well, too bad. Next time, book the tickets.
You see, like, he's playing mind games already. If you see what he's doing right now, because at this point, John and Christian, they have their X factor. They don't know who Showtime's partner is. So how do you prepare for somebody you don't know as well, right? Whereas I'm like, does Showtime know or does he not know? He's not showing his. It's like playing poker. You must be very good at Ban Luck this year.
Man, you just had to ruin everything. Yes, I put my secret.
Well, hey, I'm trying to analyze these things as we go along and trying to figure it out. Like,
Okay,
poker
let's
face.
approach
Okay.
this from a different angle.
Okay.
Like, Vel or Showtime, my dear, what are your initial thoughts
My
of your
dear.
opponents? Describe your opponents in as little or as much words as you want.
I think one word I can say is, okay, let's give them a bit of face. I mean, I want to use one word, but let's give them a bit of credit, because these kids have been working hard. So let's see what they got. Okay, I know one of them has his eye on the prize.
Ooh.
I'm not going to mention who.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wants to rise through the ranks. And well, all Showtime has to say is, you know what? You want it, you can come get it. But the thing is, you got to work your butt off for it. Now, these kids they're talented. Don't get me wrong. I see the ring. They're talented. One thing they lack is experience. Another thing they lack is the mindset. And
Wow.
you guys would know it, because when we did the previous show where I kicked Jackson in the ass, I think it was Young, if I'm not wrong, who said that I approach it like how Batman would see things, knowing the weakness and exploiting them. And that's what I've been known for, the ultimate opportunist. So these two boys coming into the ring with me, if they're not careful, they're going to get the rug pulled out from under their feet, just like that.
Ooh.
Badass.
I hope the two of them are listening, and maybe they will, adjust their tactics accordingly. But I'm thinking that Showtime is probably 3 or 4 moves ahead of that already. So we'll see. What can you tell us about John and his new sort of nickname? Because the last time we saw him, he was still just, John, right? What did he use to? Not so big match John.
He was like a Pokemon evolving at every stage, keep changing the name.
Right. I feel like every event we've gone to, he's changed a little bit. I mean, he's growing quite literally into a man. So Straight Sauce is what he calls himself now. Do you have anything to say about Straight Sauce?
Well, the only kind of sauce he's going to be getting is if he messes up next week, he's going to get that right on his face. When it comes to straight sauce, I'm like, like what Foreign was saying. Yeah, he's like a Pokemon evolving. So it's quite interesting to see, how this little Pokemon's evolving slowly from, big strong boy to God knows what he's coming out with next. I mean, straight sauce of all names, I'm like, all right, he's got a little bit of attitude going on. I see where you're going with it, but bottom line is, can you deliver? I know he's a very good mat wrestler, that's for sure. Yeah, he's really great on the mat. I've seen him doing the drills, seen him at the dojo, working hard. But one thing that he always forgets is that it's so much more than just being great on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the ring,
Yep.
it's everything. There's so much more going on. And the thing about this boy is that, well, I guess Showtime's going to teach him a thing or two next week.
What about Christian? What are your thoughts on him? He's a bit of a high flyer. I think we've seen him once or twice in the last couple of events.
Yeah.
But yeah. Not as much as we've seen John lah.
Sure, yeah. Christian, well, from what Showtime has seen, this guy, he's got talent. He's got talent. He is flexible in all sense of the words. I've seen him do things that even would put some gymnasts to shame, to be honest, in terms of flexibility. I'm not sure what he does. I'm not sure whether he's human as well, in terms of how he does his stretches and his splits and God knows what he has there. But anyways, let's not turn this podcast into something that's above M18, yeah? So Christian, well, it'll be the official first time that he's going to see me in the ring. Aside from training, aside from practice, this is the first time he's going to see me. He's going to go face to face with me. And all I can say, Christian, is that if you are listening right now, you better bring your A game, because I know that little boy, Straight Sauce John Day, is going to bring his A game. And if you don't bring your A game, man, you're going to be
It's so interesting because we are long-time viewers of Grapple Max, of course, and we've seen how John was, at one point in time, he was so-called the youngest debutant for Grapple Max, and now he is essentially a young man. He's almost thirst-trapping all over social media. Is it interesting for you as like one of like the OGs of Grapple Max to see the young ones flourishing or growing into their own?
One thing that Showtime's all about is growth. And if you're not growing, you're not moving, right? Remember, we kind of spoke about this slightly earlier on when we talked about, what have you been doing? Have you been, just chilling, stagnating? A lot of people I see, a lot of others around me, they like to stagnate. They like to, what we call fall into their comfort zone. Now, comfort zone is not where Showtime lives, because that is a place where you are just going to go down. And this boy, a Straight Sauce John Day, I mean, as much as I'm going to give him a lesson or two next week, and I'm probably going to rub his face in the mat and make the mat one with his face, one thing I got to say, though, this kid has grown. And I'm curious and I'm excited to see where this path is going to take him in terms of, what he's going to be doing as a pro wrestler and moving on, so on and so forth. Now, in terms of, seeing all these young kids flourish, that should be the way, because if you're not moving forwards, you're stagnating. And if you're stagnating, there's no way to live life, guys. I mean, come on. The past 2 years, we were stuck doing nothing at all, right?
Yeah.
And if these guys are not being creative enough, if these guys are not moving and, getting out of their comfort zone, man, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah, that's really true. Yeah, that's really true.
Well, I, for one, cannot wait for this tag team match. So many things at play here, John and Christian, up and coming. Showtime, the champ, with, question mark, TBC, to be announced. So if you're going to be there, you're going to find out, and we'll get to find out once that match happens. So let's, with you right here, Showtime, run down the rest of the card. Maybe you give us your opinion on some of the competitors as well. Maybe help us with the preview too, because it's been a while since we've seen these folk in action. So here we go, okay? There's also a graduation tag team match between Lady Killer and Sarah versus Sean and Nat.
Whoa, the return of Nat. I haven't heard from Nat for a couple of years. So, tell us about that tag team match.
Well, it'll be interesting because I've seen Sean in action in the ring. Okay, the guy's got heart. He's super excited, and the thing is, he's very passionate about what he's doing as a pro wrestler. In fact, if you follow him on social media, you'd see that this guy is super active on social media. Right? Okay. And he's really creative in terms of how he brings it forth, his character and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to look forward to, well, in all honesty, because the history between like Showtime and Net was, believe it or not, the very first singlet. She was my partner, my tag team partner,
Wow. Okay.
and it was years ago. Okay, and that girl's got spirit.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, she's got
Yep.
spirit. I've been her opponent once as well in the ring, and I must say that don't underestimate her because she brings it. She brings it. So I'm looking forward to seeing her coming back. I'm looking forward to see what Sean brings to the table, because all these people are going to be potential candidates to for Showtime to build something on the side. This is a big hint for you guys. In fact, I'm not going to say anything more, but
Wait.
yes.
Build something on the side with some of these young talent. What could that possibly mean?
That's all you're gonna get from me right now.
Okay.
I mean, he really means it literally by saying that he's an empire builder, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yeah.
And not forgetting, of course, Lady Killer is gonna be in the match. My own mentor, my ex opponent, the one who I got the belt from.
Yep.
So he's gonna be so-called the Master Yoda. Who's gonna dish out a lot of life lessons for these people. So it's a match which you guys would probably enjoy because of the fact that there's so many different styles in that match. And not forgetting, we got Sarah as well. So everything comes into play, and it's going to be a very interesting dynamic for you guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
Tell us more about Sarah, because of course we are always very interested to know that there is more female wrestlers coming through, female young talent. Tell us more about her. I believe this is her first match as well.
Yeah, definitely. And in all honesty, like because of the schedule, Showtime's busy. He's got to go out there. He's got to run his empire, and he's got to come back to the dojo every now and then. I've only seen Sarah like once or twice. I've been in the ring with her once or twice.
Yeah.
She picks up fast. She's very, very enthusiastic. You guys are going to be surprised because for someone like her, you might not assume that she's able to do the things that she's doing, but when she pulls it out, you're going to be like, wow, what on earth was that? Did she even do that? I mean, this is what I saw when I was in the ring with her once. Okay, aside from my busy schedule, I came back and I saw, okay, who's this person? That's interesting. She can do that. Okay, maybe let's put her on my list.
I understand that she's a bit of an unknown quantity, but from rumblings I hear and from asking Greg around, asking about like who are these new talents, right? He said that she has the potential to be Singapore's very own version of Phoenix Nordiana from IPW. Is that true, bro?
Well, I've only seen her twice, and Boss would know. Probably he would know her better because he trains her in in the dojo and stuff like that. So, let's see. The girl has potential, but let's see.
Well, I mean, the fact that Showtime has his eye on her, has said something about her, even upon seeing her only once or twice, I think that says a lot already. So there you go. That's going to be a fun graduation tag team match. Let's talk about the main event then, huh? Let's get to the main event. Smart Dave versus Hot Shot Wilson. Now, a lot of things at play. The last we left, sort of Smart Dave had a thing, had a couple of scores to settle with the old Wilson and Ramus and N-Boss, did he not?
Everything glorious, basically.
There was such a great faction, and I felt that there was so much more that could have been done, or it was more to come from that faction. So where did we last leave off this whole storyline? Can you tell us more?
Sure. In terms of storyline, as you know, COVID put a stop to everything, right?
Yep.
And Inglorious as a whole, I mean, it's interesting, Foreign, that you mentioned that was such a great faction, because from what Showtime recalls, these annoying fellas are still around.
Yeah, they're still a group. They're still together as far as we know, right?
That annoying group is still around, and that annoying group, thankfully they've not crossed paths with Showtime yet, because he's going to run hell on them. But the thing is, they're still around. They're still as annoying as ever. And if you look at who we have in the dojo, these guys are meant to be the top heel group, so to speak. That's what they believe themselves to be. Beating up people like DJ Carl, for example, messing up with his match, and then starting a feud with him. And now they're going after Smart Dave. So this will be interesting, because Smart Dave has always been in Showtime's eyes, he's always been like the guy who is like the peacemaker of sorts. And I don't mean to reference John Cena. but-
John Cena.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give credit to where it's due. He did really well as the character, in my opinion. Right?
For sure.
It's a show that I love because of the director and how it's done. I mean, Showtime recognizes talent, so that's what he's good at. Wrestling, not so much. But
That's, wow. This is John Cena. You're not saying about Smart Dave, yeah? So Smart Dave is still good.
no, I'm not talking about Smart Dave, man. Like Smart Dave has always been like the peacemaker, and the way Showtime sees it, right? It's like, you know the phrase like, you don't want to be poking a sleeping dragon. So these three annoying little inglorious brats coming out, sending Hot Shot in there to go up against Smart Dave. I'm not sure what NBoss has in mind, but to me, you're poking the sleeping dragon, man. And like, if you're not ready for it, that dragon's gonna run hell on you.
Yeah, very, very interesting because, of course, conspicuous by their absence, or they might make an appearance, is, of course, Remus. He is his fellow Inglorious confidant, and, of course, the big boss himself. So could we see a running of swords or anything of that nature?
Well, it's really, really hard to tell right now, to be honest. I mean, if you know how the NBoss thinks, and Showtime kind of figures it out, it's like he would send his minions out. He's not gonna just show up out of nowhere. It doesn't make sense for him, right? Like, send his minions out. So right now you got Hot Shot in there with Smart Dave. I'm very sure these two are like hiding somewhere, probably in a far off place, watching through recordings. Like, okay, this is what we gotta do. This is how we gotta take him down. This is how we're gonna, they're probably gonna be planning all their steps and trying to be 3-4 steps ahead. And yeah, they probably might be listening to this right now, and a target might be put on Showtime's back. But you know what? Just bring it.
Awesome.
If there's a target on my back, let's go.
It's interesting that you said that and you've kind of thrown the gauntlet down because, we go back to Showtime talking about building an empire and what you said about Inglorious as a group. So one has to wonder what could possibly be in the works. We'll just leave it at that. We don't need to dive into that any further, but I'm just throwing it out there as a thought, thought experiment. Think of it, make of it what you will.
Very interesting, Mr. Young. That is a great idea. I see what you see. I see what you did there.
But okay, so Smart Dave, Hot Shot Wilson. Do we even want to hazard a guess as to who might be victorious here? Because yes, we mentioned there's always that X factor. Will the rest of Inglorious show up? Will they be lurking around in the shadows, right? Foreign, what do you think?
This is so interesting because, of course, before the whole COVID went down, I was very excited to see the growth of Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Wilson has been badass ever since he turned heel. He became from a cute boy to a very this happening badass Abing, you know what I mean? He showed a bit of fire and personality there. So I'm just wondering in the years since, has his personality really come into his own? Has he become even more of an inglorious buster, if you don't get what I mean?
Sure. And then of course, like I said, but was that your pick? So I'm basically asking you, who do you think you will win?
Yeah, I believe at the end of the day, I think Smart Dave has the advantage over in terms of experience, right? He will, of course, give out a really, really good fight, Wilson, but I think just about it, Smart Dave will edge it. Just about.
You think so? Okay. Well, I have to take the other side then because of, like I said, you never know. And that's all. Even if they don't show up, it will be in the back of Smart Dave's mind. Is NBoss somewhere around? Is Remus lurking in the corner? And that much of a distraction, if you're not focused in the ring in that moment, that's all it takes. Half a nanosecond for Hot Shot to steal the victory. So we won't put you in the spot, okay, Showtime? We won't put you in the spot, but suffice it to say, you will be a very invested observer in this match. Am I right?
For sure. And I mean, straight up, I'm not gonna pick who I think would win, but like what you mentioned, I am going to be a very invested observer in that last match because, hey, it's going to be the match that caps everything off. So, see.
I got a quick question for you because clearly it's a very small shortcut in terms of the number of matches. We only have 3 announced matches. So, is it more of like giving more time for the performers in each match to fill out the time slot, or could we be seeing some unannounced matches? So what's up with the match card right now?
I think from what I understand, if you're talking about like how the match was set up and stuff like that, well, we will want to see something pop out of nowhere. That's for sure. All right. I'm not gonna go so much into that, but all I can say is that we plan the match in such a way because number one, let's be realistic. There are still restrictions right now.
Yep.
So of course, we have to take that into consideration. As much as Showtime would love for the show to be, a kick-ass show and a show that really, really puts that mark down and say we're back. Well, we still got to respect the restrictions and stuff like that because of the fact that we got to play it smart. So the great thing that we're doing is we're playing it smart, just like how Showtime likes to run all his matches. He likes to work smart rather than hard. So all I can say is that the timings are there for a reason, and if there's any surprises coming out, just keep your eyes peeled. If there's any Easter eggs being dropped, keep your eyes peeled for that as well.
Easter eggs, macam like Marvel movie or.
Yeah, almost like a bit of test waters. Like this is almost like a test run event to see the response, and I believe that the response is going to be great for the live audience over there, and hopefully it spills over to social media. And because the last time I remember Grapple Max, you guys had this entire layout, like almost like an MCU like that, of all the shows that is gonna happen in 2019. Do you guys remember that? Yeah. So could we be seeing like the beginnings of a recreation of a long running storyline and for future shows?
One could only hope, right? One could only hope. So I'm hoping, I'm sure you guys are hoping as well, and everybody tuning in, I'm sure you guys are hoping as well, because come on, let's face it, I mean, it's been way too long that we've been waiting. So it's really good to actually come back and perform live and do the things that we love.
There you go.
For sure.
Okay, well, hey, this Saturday, that's when it's happening. Check out, if you don't already have tickets, go and check out Grapple Max's social media for when they load the matches onto the social media platforms and whatnot, so you can watch the matches as well. Okay, let's very quickly dive into what you've been up to as well. I hear some rumblings about collaborations, about businesses, and obviously, apart from training and getting ready for the matches, what else have you been up to, Showtime?
Sure. Well, it's only fitting that I dropped this here because the person is online right now and this person is in the room right now. So, of course, when it comes to collaborations, you see, there was one that Showtime, he struck a deal with none other than Foreign himself.
Yeah.
And well, Showtime, as much as I want to say what it is, I'm going to keep you guys waiting for it, because all you guys got to do is just watch the match and you'll know what I mean. Right. And here's the thing, there's a reason why I chose Foreign, is because when it came to building my empire, you see, like when Showtime, like when the whole COVID situation hit and all that, the first thing Showtime thought was, okay, so you're not going to be able to go out there, you're not going to be able to put people in your place, you're not going to be able to show people why it is that you are the champ. So what else can you do? And that is when the gear started moving. That's when Showtime started putting the pieces together to actually build this entire empire that he wanted on his own. And he doesn't see himself like as a pro wrestler. He sees himself more as an empire builder, which is a fact, because that's what Showtime does on the side. So with Foreign, basically, Showtime actually chose him because he saw what he was doing in a couple of award-winning short films, internationally award-winning, by the way. And when I saw the whole vibe and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, I want that guy, because I only want the best on my team. Like, if I have subpar, it's not going to do Showtime justice. Come on.
Very interesting, my brother. First of all, I guess I'm here to announce that Foreign is not all elite, but all in on Showtime. You know what I mean?
You bought into the Showtime business, huh?
The Showtime brand. So yeah, it's very interesting because, of course, Foreign doesn't just love wrestling. Foreign is actually my moniker as a rapper, right? And of course, I'm all about wanting to contribute to our local wrestling scene. And let's just say Showtime gave me an offer I just couldn't refuse, if you know what I mean.
I love this skirting around the actual thing. Like, it's so obvious, but you guys are doing this dance around it. Like, oh, we're not going to say what we've done, but it's like, only a fool wouldn't be able to see it at this point.
Bro, the way you dance, Mr. Yang just now a bit like Rene Dupree, like Fifi, the French tickler.
Well, I'm glad you guys got to collaborate. And yes, I can't wait to actually see what the collaboration is all about. The only thing is, like, I'm like, it's too bad Foreign can't be there in person to, do it live as well, right?
Well, you don't just have to wait to see it, you can't wait to hear it as well.
Well, I mean, like I said, skirting around the damn thing, but everyone knows what it is. Okay, very cool, very cool. I can't wait. Personally, I can't wait. Is there anything else you want to share in terms of what you've been up to in the past couple of years before we wrap things up here?
Well, let's just put it as like, this whole podcast with you guys is pretty much to hype up the empire that's going to be built. So keep your eyes peeled because you're going to see things on social media that you've never seen before from Showtime, and you may be surprised. So if you are following Showtime on all his social media, you probably see hints of that being dropped like a few weeks, a few months down the road. And I don't want to spoil the surprise because, well, why reveal everything before it's even happened, right? So I'm just going to leave it as that.
There you go. On Instagram, it's Showtime, correct?
I am Showtime.
Oh, I am Showtime. Okay, there you go. I am Showtime. Go follow Showtime. Find out what he's been up to, what he's going to be up to in terms of building an empire and stuff like that, and all things GrappleMax as well.
Thank you, Showtime, for being our first guest of this new season 5, and we can't
you
wait.
guys are good.
Yeah, we can't wait for you and the rest of the GrappleMax gang to like come by the show once in a while, and help us out.
Yeah, for sure. You guys made the right choice for calling Showtime back for the very first show.
Hey man, the best we always put up front. So, greatness, recognize greatness.
I recognize for you.
I'm just angkating now so that maybe I can be on his next. Can I be part of the empire? I feel a bit left out now. Foreign's in the empire now. I'm like, well, how can Mr. Yang fit into the empire? Let's have a conversation. Let's work it out.
Mr. Yang, bro, you are the Bruce Buffer of Showtime's brand if you want to be.
Can I be your Leo?
Showtime!
Showtime!
Very good proposition, actually. We'll discuss more of it.
Yes, let's take it offline, as business people like to say. Showtime, thank you so much for being here on the show with us here today.
Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, there you have it. Showtime was in the house, and now it's just back to us. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast on a Monday afternoon. It is a pre-recorded one because, we had to do the interview and we have things to do on this Monday. But I hope you guys are doing well over in chat right now. Thank you so much for being here with us. If you haven't already, do us a favor, hit like on the video, and why haven't you subscribed? You're watching, right? Subscribe to us lah, and check out all our other pro wrestling related videos as well.
Yeah, man, you gotta show some love to our weekly Saturday videos, pro wrestling shorts. Our boys, we just put up first ever Elimination Chamber match, Survivor Series 2002. A look back at that iconic event.
In case you're too busy to go back and watch the entire event and stuff like that, just check out the highlights. They're really, really cool highlights as well, right? And we sort of, paint the whole picture for you as to how it went down as we go closer and closer to this year's Elimination Chamber that's happening in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And, in the next couple of episodes, we'll most likely review that event, right? But talking about all that stuff, before we get there though, hey, we have a Patreon page. Let's very quickly mention that whatever amount is comfortable for you, hey, we would love for you to show us your support, okay? At any tier that is comfortable for you.
Yes, of course. And if you feel like you still want to be part of the community, we also have a Discord. The Discord is popping almost every day. Somebody is just sending us links or random stuff, whether it's from WWE, AEW, local wrestling. It's fun. It's a fun place, and it's a safe space for wrestling fans. So please join us there as well.
Did you Joe Gacy us? just now?
Yes, I did indeed.
But yeah, and the Discord is absolutely free as well, by the way. So the link to the Discord is in the description. Join us, come by, say hi. There will always be something to talk about in the world of pro wrestling. And talking about the world of pro wrestling, okay, here we go. A lot of big news this past week. We won't go through every single thing that happened, all right? But okay, what stood out for you on Monday Night Raw, if anything stood out?
Okay, I mean, of course, one thing that stood out was they've really confirmed the lineup for Elimination Chamber or whoever that is going to be facing Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. And my boy Brock Lesnar, very greedy,
Yeah, okay, so...
What's up with that?
Here's the thing. Is this just like lazy booking in terms of, oh, we're just going to shock everybody by having him get his title taken away from him, but he'll win it back at Elimination Chamber? Like, are they going to do Bobby Lashley dirty like that?
I don't know, but it feels like WWE, as much as they're trying to hint and not hint that it's going to be title for title at WrestleMania, it seems like that's what they're heading towards. And I don't know about you, but I don't think any fan wants that to happen, right? Like, we don't want Bobby Lashley to be treated like an afterthought. And after he just won the title from Brock Lesnar, that's supposed to be a big deal. Yeah,
exactly right. And okay, I mean, the Elimination Chamber, I guess it's also a way for everyone in there to sort of get their shine, because you got Austin Theory, young, up and comer. We all see the potential in that guy, right? He's obviously not winning the title, but we know, okay, he's going to be in there. He's going to be bumping like crazy. I can't wait for that. Seth freaking Rollins is in there. Okay, he is a bit of a dark horse in terms of could he win the title here?
Yeah, he's of course a great title contender and just came off a great match with Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble. We've got AJ Styles, the guy a lot of people wanted to win the Royal Rumble and have like a great performance. Yeah. This could be his way of getting back into the main event, the title picture, just nice in time for WrestleMania. So AJ Styles, my boy, man, I want him to do well in this match.
But we know he's not going to win, lah.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, who else are the participants?
Okay, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. Is there a sixth?
There was supposed to be a Kevin Owens by right, but he didn't qualify.
Yeah.
Didn't he lose? Let me see. Who did he lose his chance with? Can't remember. Let's check. The reliable internet. Let's check.
I'm looking at my Instagram right now just to see the entire. Oh, good lord! I just saw what else was announced as well, and that makes me sad.
I know. Let me guess. Okay, never mind. You don't need to guess. Later you talk about it as well.
Makes me very forking sad right now.
The last guy to complete the set is apparently the guy that was rumored to be winning the Royal Rumble before plans changed. Riddle.
Oh, yeah,
Riddle's in the match.
Yeah. Hey, actually, it was very weird on Raw. Didn't they have face versus face, heel versus heel to qualify for the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, a lot of weird permutations. And one guy, I have no idea why is he not. I mean, if nothing else, for his star power alone, Randy Orton is not in this match.
I think Randy just doesn't want to hurt his body anymore. He's at that point where he's like, okay, I don't really care. I'm on this contract. I'm going to make my money. I'm going to just do what I need to do and fuck it. I'm not going to hurt myself in the Elimination Chamber. You know what I mean? The era of him sort of putting his body at risk is kind of past. He's smart enough of a businessman, I feel, at this point. Nobody's going to replace his spot. You know, he's Randy Orton. He has the name value, so he doesn't have to go and hurt himself. And he knows he's not going to be winning the championship, so fuck it lah, no need lah.
Bro, I don't know about you, bro, but honestly, I think between Riddle and Randy Orton, the thing that makes RK Bro popular is Randy Orton. It's not really Riddle. I mean, Riddle is just the guy that people just laugh at and goof off around. But do you see every time they have like a tag team match, it's always the heater spot is always Riddle, and then the part where it's a comeback spot is always Randy Orton, and everyone just goes crazy for him. He remains as popular as ever even until now.
I just very quickly want to mention that is this the first time a barefoot wrestler is going to be in the Elimination Chamber?
I mean, how many wrestlers actually wrestle barefoot?
Actually, nobody, right? If you think about it, like, I mean, I'm sure there have been a few random, like, quote unquote martial artists, but in recent times, it's only been Riddle, and I just hope he doesn't get his toes stuck in anything, okay? That Elimination Chamber is quite a brutal contraption.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, previous times probably an Umaga. You
Yeah.
know,
Umaga. There you go.
And of course, going way back, this is like 80s already. Is who's that one Von Erich guy who always wrestled without his feet? The one that's still alive, lah.
Without his feet, you mean his shoes?
Oh, without his shoes, yeah. Lifting Kevin Von Erich. He's
I
the one
can't-
that never killed himself, lah. He's the remaining one.
I don't know. That might be actually be before my time. But anyway, that aside, so obviously when you look at that, the roster in the Elimination Chamber, only two names come to mind when you talk about winners, and that's Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, with Seth Rollins maybe in that dark horse category. I don't see any of the others even standing a chance.
Yeah, because I feel like Brock Lesnar clearly doesn't need this. Like he's still gonna go on to face Roman Reigns regardless, right?
Yeah.
I feel that the only way, if Brock Lesnar wins, the only one that benefits from it is just Brock Lesnar. Like everyone else is gonna get affected. Bobby Lashley is gonna lose the title for no reason, completely gonna destroy his mystique, and it's such a waste because he's being built up quite well, you know,
Yeah.
this
But
past year.
the problem is, why do you want to put Brock Lesnar in there then? Now you make Brock Lesnar look bad by not having him win, because he's supposed to be this beast, the destroyer, the beast incarnate, right? You put him in there, yeah, they have a back and forth match, but he loses? What, because Paul Heyman or Roman Reigns screw him again? That is the only way I can see him losing. So, okay lah, so 2 times in a row you get the exact same outcome. A bit repetitive, no?
I wouldn't mind that happening if it's done in a creative way. Like I feel like maybe now that apparently Paul Heyman is back aligned with Roman Reigns, right? Roman Reigns is just going about just screwing with Brock Lesnar at this point in time, like playing the mind games.
So he purposely, like every chance he get, he will choke him lah, like send the Usos down, do something lah.
You know what I want him to do? I want him to do what Shawn Michaels did in the Elimination Chamber in 2010. Do you remember what happened?
Vaguely.
It was like the heavyweight title. It was Chris Jericho and Undertaker. They were the last two. But then this was the point where HBK was obsessed with getting to WrestleMania, right? So he actually appeared from underneath one of the cage grating.
Yep.
He came out, super kicked this motherfucker, and basically cost him the title. He caused him to lose the title. So I think that's the best way. Like probably a Roman Reigns appearance from underneath the chamber, drag him down to hell or whatever it is. Just get him out of the match.
Okay, so you're calling a Bobby Lashley retention. Alamak, we macam like doing a preview for Elimination Chamber already.
Yeah. We are still a few weeks away from that. So
But
early predictions.
The funny thing is they've already announced most of the card, and I guess they have to because they need to. And we've talked about this before, right? Like the Saudi Arabians, like the princes or whoever is footing the bill on this, they're like, hey, why have the cards been glorified house shows? We want real proper angles and proper matches. So WWE like, okay, take. We want your money, so let me give you the legit matches. So now, do you want to jump? Okay, actually, let's not jump. Let's continue on the thought of Raw. Anything else other than Ronda Rousey showing up and basically teasing her choice would be on SmackDown?
Yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, I guess we can talk about it in a bit.
The women's, because Becky Lynch has an opponent for Elimination Chamber. This is what they wrapped up Raw with: Lita versus Becky Lynch at Elimination Chamber. Interestingly enough, not at WrestleMania. Huh?
I'm very surprised, bro, because clearly when Lita returned, she first faced off against Charlotte Flair, right?
Yep.
So I thought that was going to be what they're going to be working towards WrestleMania, but it seems as if the roles have been reversed, things have been switched around.
Yes, because, okay, I mean, we might as well get to it, because on SmackDown, Ronda Rousey announced that Charlotte Flair is her pick. So WrestleMania will be Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, which is, for some strange reason, not the match I want to see.
Were you surprised by this decision by Ronda?
Okay, I need to watch SmackDown because I haven't watched it. As we record this on a Saturday afternoon, right? I haven't watched SmackDown yet. I only saw it on social media, but I'm surprised. Maybe in her delivery, like remember on Raw, she talked about Becky not being on her level. So in a way, it's very weird. She up Charlotte Flair. She see Charlotte Flair up, but she see Becky Lynch no up.
You know, okay, it's very interesting because I was very confused by the decision, but I actually managed to watch the entire Raw segment.
Yeah.
And I managed to watch the entire SmackDown segment for Ronda Rousey on both shows.
Okay.
And clearly not using the highlights. Like I actually watched and tried to understand because people were talking about when she came back on Monday, she didn't seem like her heart was in it.
Yep.
Her promo was very robotic, blah, blah, blah.
But that's Ronda has
yeah.
always been like that. What are you talking about? Her
her
promos are not her strong suit anyway.
Yeah, but like so as I was listening to it was a very interesting observation I made. Ronda on Raw sounded like a heel, but Ronda's reaction on SmackDown sounded like a pure baby face. Okay, so hear me out, right? So when she came back on Raw and she made that announcement, like she was teasing, like, should I fight Becky? But it was now that on hindsight, I realized actually Shika was kind of dismissing Becky.
Yeah, she was. The whole thing was like, Becky's not even on my level.
Her level, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't want to revisit it. And then Becky came in and she talked about how I miss you, you're the weirdo, blah, blah, blah. But she also made this very interesting throwaway comment where, I mean, if you want to start slow, you don't want to go for the main course, you can just have Charlotte Flair, You just let me know early on. So it's already, if you watch it back, you realize that they are kind of like skirting the issue that, okay, this is not going to happen at this WrestleMania. And then immediately when Lita came in right after to challenge, I felt like, okay, I think WWE is moving on past Ronda and Becky Lynch and going into this Lita and Becky Lynch feud. But I don't think that's going to be the final opponent for WrestleMania for Becky Lynch. But like, hold that thought. But when I watched the entire segment on SmackDown, very interestingly, you don't mind me doing some spoilers here, right?
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so the segment started with Sonya Deville together with Charlotte Flair, and by right it was supposed to be them awaiting Ronda Rousey coming to the ring, right? But then Sonya Deville made this announcement. Oh, by the way, I just before we even get started, I just wanted to confirm to you, to Charlotte, that Ronda Rousey has officially chosen Becky Lynch. So this clears things up. You do so that means she's just coming to sign the contract today. She's not gonna face you, blah blah blah. So it almost seems like there was some sort of like Sonya Deville was doing some sort of politicking to like protect her champion. Like she's just trying to explain away. Oh yeah, but don't worry. Ronda is not gonna choose you. She's gonna go for Charlotte Flair. She's gonna go for Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
So Charlotte was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. She's scared to fight me. Blah blah blah. She said, never mind. Since I have the pick of my champion, I'm gonna choose someone that is not even here, that I know everyone wants me to face. Then she called out Sasha Banks. Which was very interesting because a lot of people was thinking, yeah, Sasha Banks should have a big main event match at WrestleMania, right? So the crowd was actually hyped for it. They were like, yeah, Sasha, they're calling for Sasha. So it almost as if the tease was happening for Sasha and Charlotte. Then all of a sudden, Ronda Rousey interrupted and came in. Very weirdly enough, she had a huge babyface pop.
Okay.
So I do not know whether because the crowd just hated Charlotte Flair so much that they will just cheer Ronda, or because I don't know, because Becky's so weird, she's a heel, but everyone still loves her. So it's a weird reaction. But then she cut a much better promo on SmackDown than on Raw. It felt like the heat between the interaction they had between each other sold me on the possibility of Charlotte versus Ronda as opposed to Becky. What she said was, Charlotte dismissed her and said, why don't you fight Becky? I mean, you can have a mom versus mom match. Like, take it easy with her. And then she said like, I don't need, my baby is right here. And then she like shoved the title in her face. And she said, and my baby is prettier than yours.
Whoa.
and then Ronda said something along the lines of, I didn't come all the way here and fly into a snowstorm just to chat. I'm here to kick your ass, and like as in like I owe you an ass beating and you're like first in line, something like that. I think just as a callback from a previous WrestleMania, right? And she said something along the lines of I want to show my child, introduce my child to our family business of kicking ass. So she's clearly doing it like she's bringing the fact that she's a mother and she wants to show that that this is what she wants to do. So it's almost like that they are placing her as like a baby face opposite Charlotte, but she was acting as a heel on Raw against Becky. Very, very interesting dynamics.
I don't know. I guess I have to see the segment to judge for myself. Just some thoughts. Like if you remember back to the WrestleMania, right? The person who pinned Ronda Rousey was actually Becky Lynch. So it kind of makes no sense for me for Ronda Rousey to still choose Becky Lynch. I feel like what's going to happen in the next few weeks is Becky Lynch is going to be very like, hey, how come you didn't choose me? Because the current Becky Lynch character is like a bit weaselly, a bit, like, hey, I should be the main event, right? I think very highly of myself. So I feel like maybe they are angling towards a rematch A triple
A
threat.
triple threat rematch.
Again, somehow she will wiggle her way in, I feel.
It's very interesting because I almost a hint of me want to believe that there's some sort of real life politics happening.
Yeah, right. And actually, going back to the whole Charlotte and Becky, like, remember the heat, supposed real life heat they had? They used to be
Yep.
best friends, all that stuff. I wonder if they are capitalizing on that because,
Yeah.
to this point, we still don't know if that was like a shoot or a work shoot or a little bit, you know what I mean?
Did you watch the Stone Cold interview?
Yes. Well, I mean, she can also be, working the crowd.
Could be, but I feel there's from the way she said there was like an element of truth. Like they really had a falling out.
I want to watch the Charlotte Flair episode now. Like they need to do a Charlotte Flair episode with Stone Cold. And
Yeah.
actually watching like Becky and Stone Cold chat, right? You can't help but feel like, hey, this Becky Lynch is actually quite a cool chick.
Yeah, she is.
She
She's
is.
always been, and it's so weird because I felt like I never understood why she came back as a heel.
Yeah.
Clearly, people still wanted to root for her, but I guess they wanted to make her the heel opposite Bianca Belair. So my early predictions for WrestleMania is I feel like after Lita, Bianca Belair should go back and do that run around rematch with Becky Lynch for WrestleMania if Ronda is really sticking with Charlotte Flair.
Personally, I would like to see the triple threat happen again. Maybe, which leaves a big hole for Lita lah. So Lita doesn't have a WrestleMania match, cannot be, right?
That's the thing. It leaves a big hole for Lita, but it also leaves and opens up another opportunity for a Sasha Banks because Sasha Banks versus Lita.
Ooh, actually, I didn't think about it, but now that you've mentioned it, I want to see that match.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You know what's sad though?
What?
Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair out of the picture, out of the conversation completely. Sad, right?
No, but here's the thing, right? Okay, if I want to look at it from a positive point of view, right, that like really, right, even though we're talking about less, WWE has a lack of depth on the roster, blah blah blah. But if they so-called combine the roster together, right, they have 6 potential main event women
Yep.
that they can like circle around and do a bunch of combinations. Like they have, of course, Charlotte, they have Becky Lynch,
Yep.
they have Sasha Banks. Now Ronda is back. They have even brought in Bailey, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. There's like 7
Yep.
people and multiple combinations. It's cool, right?
Alexa Bliss still in therapy, but hopefully making her return soon as
Returns
well.
as the goddess, hopefully. We have even talked about Asuka.
Oh yeah. Asuka is another one who is a wild card. Could she be, returning anytime soon? So okay lah. I mean WrestleMania, and it's going to be a 2-night event as well. So you have lots of slots, lots of potential great matches.
What I hope to see is that beyond the usual suspects, right? Like the Sasha, Charlotte, Becky. I hope like the second tier of women kind of get their shine as well.
Okay, I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not going to like to hear, but just by watching the product currently and seeing the trend of where WWE seems to be headed, I feel like their big events are reserved now for the big names. Don't you feel that way? Because it's it feels like, oh, it's all about the big names and the money making matches. Like, that's why we're not seeing Rhea Ripley getting pushed. That's why maybe she'll get her shine later in the year when it's not WrestleMania season, when it's not Saudi Mania season, But right now, it feels like for the big time matches like a WrestleMania, no, let's bank on the big names that they've only managed to get, like Brock Lesnar, like your Ronda Rousey. And that goes back to the entire booking of the Royal Rumble, Like,
But that's but how can you not look at Rhea Ripley and don't think there's like a star? Even if you don't know anything about her, clearly there's no book. The booking sucks. But if you look at her, shit, they can mold her into a star anytime. Why the hell is she not being,
But it
pushed?
seems like they are no longer in the star making business. It's if you hit it big, then okay lah. But beyond that, we don't know what the fuck. Like, doesn't it seem like that in the WWE right now?
Yeah. But of course, like there have been some that have kind of risen above. I believe Bianca Belair has become a star in the last 1 year.
Yeah.
And she deserves all the attention she's given.
Despite being booked incredibly poorly. Like, we all know Piper Niven Doudrop can be a star given the right booking. It's just, we're just gonna anyhow throw her here, throw her there. Eva Marie left, now she become solo heel. Like, huh?
Yeah. It's very funny because I think there was an interview on after the bell or something like that where Dewdrop talked to Corey Grace, right? And she talked about how she wanted to be different from the rest of the female wrestlers on the roster. Of course, she looks different, and she said she took inspiration from people like Bull Nakano, people like not necessarily physically beautiful women, but they always had a spot on the roster, and they were very interesting. And I just thought to myself, like, even if I don't know anything about a girl named Bull Nakano, I just think to myself, wow, that girl must be pretty badass and scary.
Yeah.
But then I hear a Dewdrop. Get it?
She dead on arrival with that name. At least Piper Niven was like, okay, all right, it sounds like a cool name, right? But no, fucking Dewdrop. She needs to get rid of Dewdrop. One promo will do it. Stop calling me Dewdrop. That was what Eva Marie called me. Call me by insert new name. I
mean, if Shorty G can return to Chad Gable, I feel there is still hope left. Can be done.
God. Chad Gable and the skate scoot race. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's your sports entertainment for you, lah. I mean, if they get to shine a little bit more, I'm all for that.
Very interestingly, Randy Orton wasn't on the show, right? And then someone was talking on the comment section saying like, oh, he was so pissed off that he got treated like shit in his hometown. He decided to stay at home. He didn't want to go for Raw.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, you have to do a skate scoot race. He's like, nope, I'm staying at home.
Fuck that shit. I'm just saying an extra day at home. Fuck that shit.
Well, okay, so that's Raw, SmackDown. NXT is building up. They're building up Braun Breaker, so interesting things to come. A lot of new faces as well. Like NXT is like half of it is like your established new. It's weird to say established new guys, but that first crop of NXT 2.0. Your Tony D'Angelo's, your Grayson Waller. Braun Breaker, and then there are a whole bunch of new guys as well that they're trying to inject in there slowly. Dante Chen, let's go.
Dante Chen had a backstage promo, very interestingly. I like that they're utilizing him in different spots. So like one time he had a on-screen promo right before he fought with Duke Hudson, and now he got a backstage promo. I hope next week he does a video from catering or something like that.
And just get on the show. Interestingly enough, you talk about like their social media. There was a social media exclusive where Dolph and Robert Roode ran into, was it Braun Breaker? No, LA Knight.
LA Knight at first, yeah.
Backstage, right? So there was hints, mentions on NXT that Dolph Ziggler might just show up on it. So maybe, like, do you notice that they've been doing a lot of cross-pollination? First AJ Styles, now Dolph Ziggler will jump into NXT, have a few matches with somebody. So
I think it makes sense, lah. It makes sense because both shows are on the USA network, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you would recognize, and it is a way to bring up NXT's ratings as well, to have an established star. So I only see good things for that, to have the veterans working with the new guys. So
I agree. I don't mind because most of these guys like Dolph Ziggler, they are underutilized anyway on Raw.
Yeah.
Send them to NXT, give them the revival or give them some rub in a different environment. Why not?
The revival? You mean the FTR?
Yes, clearly that was it. Case, right?
Okay, let's talk about Dynamite then. Dynamite, I mean, we had the interesting sort of proposal, shall we say, from Bryan Danielson to Jon Moxley. What do you think about that?
I like it, bro. When I was listening to, of course, I didn't expect the promo to go that way. Clearly, at the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to have a rivalry and that would be great. Yeah. But then, right, I believe this is even much more of an intriguing option because remember what Bryan Danielson said?
Yep.
He said on the mic, the crowd might not like me, but I know they like what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, I mean, here's the thing, right? Bryan Danielson obviously knows what he's doing. He's enjoying the hell out of it. He's smart. But he's smart to both the fans and to the business as well. Like, like when you look at the WWE, they come across as they are smart to the, how do I put it? Like, they might know what the internet, what people are saying, but they just ignore. We want to do our own thing, right?
Yeah.
Then Bryan Danielson, he knows, he addresses it, but fuck you. And he uses it as fuel to push along his storylines.
Yeah. I felt like that's something that Triple H used to do.
Yes.
But the way Triple H use it is in a way like he kind of like shit on this internet smug.
Yeah.
But I feel like Bryan Danielson does it in a more cerebral way where the internet sparks get even more excited.
Yeah. he's on the next. He's on a different level already. Like we always raise the level as time goes by. People get better and better at this. And right now, in terms of like on the mic, I feel like Bryan Danielson is doing the best work out of any promo in any federation.
Yeah, as a wrestler, as a promo guy, I think honestly, he's like the best wrestler in the world right now. Like literally,
Like
no offense to Punk, no offense to Omega, but
Yeah.
he's doing the best work.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you 100% right now. And like the stuff that he's doing with Mox, like honestly, when I see a Mox match, he comes out and he does this, like I still can't bring myself to care. Like, okay, this guy again, you know? Like that's what Mox has done. But now with Bryan Danielson, I'm like, oh shit, I'm intrigued. And then and to Mox's credit, he played as if like he was interested. Like, I hear what you're saying. Let me think about it, you know? So now we have that, stay tuned next week. Will Jon Moxley say yes to Bryan Danielson?
Yeah, and you know what? I just thought about it, right? Do you think, bro, that this could be like the start of like hear me out, like a NWO-like faction in AEW? Where you think about it, like this established former WWE stars, they want to run this place the way they see fit. They want to take the business to where they think that they can take it, and they're gonna take this bunch of like undercuts to be part of their vision. And think about it, he seems like a bit like a Scott Hall, Kevin Nash situation, right?
Yeah, and to build them up, like he mentioned Dante Martin, a bunch of like the young guys, right? I want like, and see, this is the beauty of that promo he did. It's making us think. It's making us salivate. As much as I want that to happen, I don't think it will. I think this is just an indecent proposal. Moxley being the character he is, he'll say, fuck you, I'm a loner, don't mess with me, and then they'll fight lah. They will have, it's like, and then Bryan Danielson will be like, oh, but you know, see, I offered you don't want to join me now, I have to beat you up. That's the storyline that's going to play. I feel like that is where it's going. But to Bryan Danielson's credit, he made me interested in this feud, even though I know exactly where this is going.
But bro, the more interesting thing to do is to run with this shit and become the two-man power trip.
Yeah, like it would be lah. I agree. I agree with you. I want to see that happen. It would be amazing, but I don't think it will.
Okay, hear me out. Here's a very radical idea, and I don't think anything has been done in pro wrestling to this level. What if they do agree to work together, but Bryan Danielson stays as a heel, Moxley stays as a face?
I'm trying to think. It's definitely been done before, where you have one tag team partner face, one tag team partner heel. But
yeah, like okay, the only one I can think of was when MJF was prowling around with Cody Rhodes, even though he was a clear heel and Cody was like the face.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, right, I think this can work because Moxley, the character, would definitely hear whatever Bryan Danielson say, and like, you know, there's some truth to that, you know. And I want to guide these young guys, so he will agree on the principle that okay, I want to be able to train them and impart them this right wisdom, right?
But what part of the Jon Moxley, like, I mean, Jon Moxley, the person might be into that, but the Jon Moxley character, what part of it says to you, I want to build up young stars? I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. Like, Jon Moxley, to me, is this wild man. Like, why would he give a fuck about the young guys?
But because, like, I felt like after he cut his promo when he returned from his rehab stint, right? I feel like he wants to be able to, like, not say do whatever he wants, but he kind of wants to create this legacy for himself now that he's back. You know, make things better. So that's why I say, like, if I don't mind him staying as a face, but then Bryan Danielson pretends under the guise that he wants to guide all these young people, but he's the one that is the conceited heel trying to win championships at the same time.
Yeah.
A lot of very interesting permutations. I really don't know where this will go.
No, I see your point, but I really believe that this is just a catalyst for them to fight. That's all.
Yeah.
It's a great promo to get us salivating, and this is the beauty of a Bryan Danielson, that he can do that. But the end goal is for them to fight.
What do you think when he said that he thought that Moxley was the best AEW champion they had?
Obviously, he's buttering him up lah. Like, his character is buttering him up. So
yeah.
That's what I saw it as.
But I was thinking about it. But who do you think was actually the best AEW champion that carried the belt so far?
Honestly, I would say Chris Jericho, only because it lent legitimacy to a title that was brand new. Without a Chris Jericho, it would have been like you know. So
Yeah.
I would say Chris Jericho.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I was thinking about it because I felt like every single reign had good things and had bad things. And I can't really give you a clear winner, like who was like hands down the best. But we know who's the worst.
Even though Bryan Danielson said it was the best, no.
No. As in like the worst out of the four, I still think is Hangman. Hangman's like not doing shit.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, the thing is, Hangman still has time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To turn it around.
Okay. To me, John Moxley was the worst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna turn it around doing a Texas death match with Lance Archer, but hey, whatever lah, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's and this is the thing. Like, what he cut a promo, did he not? I don't remember much about what Hangman did.
Oh, he called out Lance Archer, and Lance Archer beat his ass. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Great. Who gives a shit?
But that's the thing, like that's like a middle of the card feud, and like it's not even the main event. It felt like a very forgettable thing. But it's supposed to be for the world championship, so it's weird.
Exactly, which is the problem with a Hangman Page right now. He's the world champion, but it doesn't seem like he's the world. There's so many more like interesting, better things happening around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's because Tony Khan is not really highlighting him to the best of his ability, or like you said, it's just the cream rises to the top.
Yeah,
it's just other feuds are just much more interesting.
Yeah. And see, that's the problem. We've gone through this a minute. I don't want to say I don't want to be the broken record. That's like they should have dragged out this Daniel Bryan thing, Bryan Danielson thing longer. But whatever. Okay. We didn't have Cody, did we?
We didn't have Cody,
but we had another Rhodes.
We had the wife.
Objectively, can I say this without sounding like a creep?
No.
Brandy do look hot though. Woo!
Brandy goddamn bulldog.
Well, whatever. I mean, she looked amazing, and then Paige Van Zandt looked amazing as well. So I think, like, as much as nobody wants to see this match, I want to see, like, just see them.
Yeah, just admire their beauty together in the same room.
Does that make sense?
No, it's fine. No, I admit it. Like, Brandy is a beautiful black woman.
She's a beautiful woman. Period.
Yeah, and like of course, I guess Cody is a good-looking white man, so they have the best multiracial baby of all time.
Oh
so,
yeah, no, but like okay, this feud, this like, does anybody really care to see them fight?
Okay, the only thing I want to see out of all this is Paige Van Zandt signing full-time with AEW, because we did a poll. It's a unanimous landslide. Like really, everyone wants to see her part of AEW, and she's so young, and people keep forgetting she's young.
Could PVZ be the next Ronda Rousey? Because I mean, she has the bare knuckle fighting, UFC, MMA background, right? So she could be AEW's version of a Ronda Rousey, and well, and if she's like a full time, she's younger as well. You know, she doesn't have like motherly duties and other things to pull her away. They could be building the next big star to face Britt Baker somewhere down the line.
Yeah, that's definitely a great point. What was her record like in UFC? Like, how did she do in her MMA career?
Is she pretty? Look, man, look. Let's be real here. There were two people in the UFC in this era. I forgot which year, right? But they kept pushing Sage Northcutt and Paige Van Zandt. But then they kept losing.
Sage wasn't. I mean, she ended up in one championship or something, right?
Sage Northcutt ended up in one championship, and even in one championship, I think he lost. So anyway, whatever. I mean, this MMA world is very like, oh, you have one bad moment and that's it, you're gonna lose, right?
Yeah, I mean, was it like the last like very pretty girl but can really back it up in the ring was like Misha Tate. Like Misha Tate was actually legit, right?
Yeah. But like. Yeah, her record wasn't fantastic. That's why she left the UFC, and then she went to do this bare knuckle fighting business. I don't know her record there. I haven't been, paying attention to that. But yeah, why risk your face, your health doing bare knuckle fighting when you can come in here and work and make probably as much, if not more, money from Tony Khan?
Yeah, I mean, if I was like, okay, this is a random alternate reality, but if Farah was a beautiful woman.
Oh, you know I can't get that out of my head now.
Yeah, and I love to look pretty, but I also want to come across as a badass. Isn't pro wrestling like the best spot to land in? Because first of all, you don't get beaten up for real. I mean, you suffer some pain, sure, but you don't get beaten up for real, and you get to look good and you get to perform. Like, isn't pro wrestling the best landing spot for beautiful girls?
Yeah, sure. I don't know about the way you just put it, but okay. I mean, that's the whole point of the Diva Search back in the day, was it not?
Yeah. And I think there will always be a demand for beautiful women fighting in the ring. No matter, I mean, you're of course living in a very progressive world right now.
I'm like, this is the road to foreign cancellation.
No, wait, relax. I will be able to get myself out of this hole. Wait, like at the end of the day, right? Like, the talent is there, but I believe that, like, for someone like Paige Van Zandt, who, let's say, like you said it yourself, doesn't have the best career in fighting, right? But she still wants to remain in the spotlight and be seen as a star. Pro wrestling is like the next best thing for her.
Oh yeah, exactly. In fact, it might be the best thing in terms of, like, you're not actively getting hit. Like what you said, you know, obviously there are downsides to every job, but like, you're not actively going out there and risking, you know, a head kick, a punch to the face. Unless you're going in there with like Nia Jax, then that one different story. She might accidentally punch you in the nose, right?
Oh my god, you need to slide in that Nia Jax burn for me.
I had to go there. Hey, Nia Jax was the one who made Becky Lynch, okay?
Yeah, so I mean, if nothing else, you have to give credit that for her legacy, right?
Oh yeah, for creating that image, iconic image of Becky Lynch with the bloody nose and everything. But back here, look, man, the women's division really needs a boost, and if Paige Van Zandt really does become all elite and then they build her up, don't have her interact with Britt Baker yet. Because the last thing you want to do is immediately put her in. Then we'll get a do-drop Becky Lynch situation where the opposition is just not ready. Not at that level. No, have PVZ just run roughshod over whatever weak-ass division you have, and Britt Baker doing everything she can to duck it, and then finally have them meet. I think that's the way.
Yeah, I mean, let PVZ go for the green title. I mean, when I say green, the mid-card women's title, the TBS title.
You mean that bitch show? No, she doesn't need it. Honestly, okay, and you know what the dumbest thing is?
What?
It seems like the TNT title is always being defended on TBS, whereas the TBS title is always defended on Rampage, which is on TNT.
Sometimes I keep forgetting that the main show is Dynamite when she's on TBS, but usually the main show is always in TNT, so it's like balik a bit.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, that nonsense aside, right? So the other thing of note that happened on AEW, okay, Chris Jericho had a thing with Santana and Ortiz. Yeah. It's a very like sudden, like all of a sudden, oh, I don't like you anymore, and like it feels a bit like Hot Shot.
Not Wilson, not Hot Shot Wilson.
Not Hot Shot Wilson, but yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's so weird because I feel like I know they're writing their own scripts and promos, but then Chris Jericho compared himself to Kylie Jenner. Yeah. He called himself the influencer. And I'm like, what?
Okay, you know, I feel like Chris Jericho is the type of person, right? He has a 50% hit and miss rate.
He tries to see what sticks.
Like, you know, like a Rock seems to be like a person who has a 80, almost 90% hit rate, where 90% of what he says is going to hit. Stone Cold, same thing, right? Yeah. But then Chris Jericho, even if you go all the way back to his WCW, he just tried everything fucking try, which, you know, is to be commended as well. So you have at least like a 50-60% hit rate. At least you have that hit rate 60%, whereas people who don't try have no hits at all, can never get up there, you know?
I mean, just look at 2016. Like, for every list of Jericho Drink It In band, there was Rooty, Tooty, Booty. I mean, you get it. I get it.
Yeah,
hit or miss.
Yeah, he tries it. So now he's trying some new thing because his whole reputation, he evolves a lot, which is great, but also a bit like, okay, what the fuck are you trying now? Like this.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly seems like he's trying to take credit for, like, you know, I've put a lot of people on the map in AEW. I am the great influencer of this piece. Okay, I get it. But then when he said Kylie Jenner, I'm like, bro, you just like kind of brought it down to a very lame comparison. But,
he's trying to be hip, you know?
Yeah, but the only thing hip I have to say about Chris Jericho is that, bro, for a 50-year-old, that hair though, bro, I don't know whether it's some L'Oreal shit, L'Oreal, or some hair plugs. But it looked good, man, during that promo, I gotta admit.
Yeah, do you remember a few weeks ago when his hair looked very fake? Like he just poured a bunch of shit in it.
Like he put black, then it's like grey,
Yeah.
it's like everything mixed.
I think now it's grown out and it's finally settled into its final form. That's why it looks good. But a few
Bro.
weeks ago, it looked damn jalat.
He look like he's an elf from Lord of the Rings right now.
Oh shit! Why are we judging his hair on this podcast?
yeah, okay. Can we focus on the main thing from Dynamite?
Okay, make it. MJF versus CM Punk. They finally had their match in Chicago. Look, honestly, I knew the outcome was going to be MJF winning.
Okay.
Just to give him heat in CM Punk's hometown, no less. He had to cheat to win. It's all expected, but it doesn't make the match any less interesting. Doesn't make the feud any worse. I think it's, sometimes what's supposed to happen is the right thing, and it happened, and it's great.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I was watching it live, and then like it was like 45 minutes before the end of the show, and then MJF came out. Then I was thinking to myself like, wait, this match is gonna start this early.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
two things came to my mind. I thought this was gonna be like a false match, and there was even not gonna have a match. It's gonna be like a gauntlet match. He's gonna find some way to like chabut from this.
Yep.
Or they are really gonna have a fucking 45-minute 1 hour match, and I'm like, really? So I don't know. What's your thoughts on the match overall?
I mean, they told a story. Look, it's CM Punk, it's MJF. I think MJF is a bit of a throwback as well. We go back to MJF versus, remember, Darby Allin. They had a really, really good match. MJF is one of those guys right now, though, that can do just about everything. He can do it in the ring. He has it.
Yeah, I agree. He, like you said, he's one of the new generation guys that seem like an old school wrestler.
Yeah. So you see, here's my thing. I feel like what he is, he has respect for the business, the wrestling business.
Yeah.
But he also takes a bit from the new, spot fest type, but no, just very little from this. But he respects the business. Whereas people like your Young Bucks, and they quite obviously are like, fuck you, old fogies, to the business, and just do their spot fest, right? And now it's starting to show which is the cream. It's your MJFs, is your Darby Allin, the people who respect the business of what it is, and instead of just doing 10,000 flips every single match.
Yeah, in a very weird way, I think that MJF and Triple H have gotten along really, really well.
I think so. They're both, pardon the pun, they're both students of the game.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so weird because I never thought of CM Punk as like a old school wrestler, like respect the business kind of guy. But actually he does, because I've been watching his matches, right? Have you realized that he's been paying a lot of homage to Bret Hart in his matches?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like he's been doing the whole Bret Hart Diesel roll-up finish. And then this match he's been playing a lot with psychology of like injured leg, and like trying to work a body part. And I think CM Punk, for a guy who's so-called like one of the newer school wrestlers, he's also a bit like MJF. Like he respects the legends and he tries to incorporate them into the match.
Same as Bryan Danielson. So what it is a healthy respect for the business, but also the smarts to move on and not like be dead set on the old ways like a Jim Cornette, who, when you listen to his podcast, sometimes some of the things he says makes a lot of sense, but it's also like a little bit of it is stuck in the past. No, so for someone like a CM Punk, like an MJF, I see the old school, but I also see them evolve it. Whereas for some people, like I don't want to beat a dead horse. You know what it is? Okay, you know what it is? Let me put it to you this way, okay? The Young Bucks are like YouTubers. They come in, let's just film some random bullshit. Oh, this is what works. Oh, this internet crowd loves this. Let's just keep doing that shit. Whereas the rest, like your CM Punks and your MJFs, they are students. They are like your Leonardo DiCaprio. They're your actors, they are
interesting.
They learn the craft, but they also do they dabble their feet in some of the new stuff. They pick up those skills over there, but they respect the craft.
Yeah, I think if you're a true student of the game, like you mentioned, it's like they are not afraid to pay respects to the traditions that brought them to where they are now, but they're also not afraid to test the limits of what is new. Like you can't like just straight away create something new, because wrestling is there is a history to it, and I think the history is the thing that makes it interesting for long-time fans. Because if you've been watching for so long, you want the callbacks, you want people to. I hear about this, I hear about that,
It's not even just the callbacks as well, just about how to build a match. When you watch sport shows like where everything's just a spot after spot, why is it that people sort of just sit on their ass and don't care after a while? It's because we've seen 10 different flips already to a point where, like just another flip law. And how do you build upon that? You have to do a flip from a higher spot and a higher spot and a higher spot, and you're killing yourself.
It never ends, right?
Yeah, whereas these old school guys, they had to maintain their, physical body and just wrestle over and over again. So they built it up from something like,
Okay, I give you a good example. Like, this entire match was built around psychology and injuring a body part, right?
The leg, right?
That's old school. That's like the wrestlers from old do that all the time. But then I must say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the most innovative thing that they did was they did a false finish, right? Usually, isn't it like when a heel does a false finish and they won, and then the referee restarts the match? It's always the babyface that wins in the end.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever seen a heel false finish and they supposedly won, and then they win again.
That's a very good point.
Has that happened before?
I don't know. I can't tell you if it has, but that's a very good point.
Yeah, because that was the one thing I took away from that match, because I was thinking to myself, oh shit, MJF won. They're gonna piss off the entire Chicago crowd, and then when they did the whole the referee saw the tape fall down, and it's like, oh, they're gonna restart the match. Oh shit, CM Punk's gonna win. Okay, so then like in my mind, I was thinking to myself, okay, when CM Punk wins, MJF can say, oh, I could have won the match. I actually won the match. So like there will be a reason for CM Punk to still be undefeated, right? But then Wardlow came into the play. And what they did with Wardlow was really, really smart. Do you see the camera angle?
Yeah. So they blocked Wardlow's hand altogether. So he had the diamond ring in the at the back of him, right? Because he's like standing like this with his hands at the back, right? So and you only caught the infraction after the bell rang. They only showed the replay, the camera angle from the back after everything had finished, and that's when Excalibur lost his mind and blah. Like to me, this was a perfect from the production standpoint, because AEW fucks up a lot of these production things. Let's be real, they have, right? This time they did it perfectly. Well done.
Yeah, I give a clap as well. Like, it's crazy because like when when Wardlow started coming in, and then everyone was thinking to myself like, oh, is this gonna be time where Wardlow step aside and he gonna turns on MJF? So everyone was like thinking about that, and you can see the face. Great facials from Wardlow. Gotta respect the fact that he's putting the effort in terms of acting there, right? And you thought to yourself like, okay, this is gonna factor into the finish, and it's gonna be sad because it's like, oh, what a waste, right? But it might continue the storyline of Wardlow and MJF. I didn't expect Wardlow to continue doing MJF's bidding.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, he played it off as if like he had that conflict, right? And technically he didn't do anything until we find out at the end. So just all around very good, production, very good timing on everybody's part. Well
Great
done.
reveal. Very, very well done. Do you see what happened at the end of the match after MJF pinned CM Punk?
What do you mean?
Like when he lay there for a very long time, it seemed like he was thanking Punk.
Oh yeah. He did the whole like he lays over him and he's like talking, right? Yeah, it looks like he's thanking him. Obviously that's what he did. He obviously respects the man. He respects the business.
CM Punk put him over in his hometown, and he pulled out a move that he hasn't used in 17 years just to put over this new generation of MJF. Like MJF literally got the ultimate rub from CM Punk.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's so great lah. Good for him.
I mean, and he didn't have to do it with a title or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now he needs to do it with Hangman Page. God, Hangman Page needs help.
Yeah. Okay, so the question is, are we going to run this back at Revolution and CM Punk takes back the win? Or are we going to move forward?
No, I think they have to revisit this at this point. They built it up like that. They've had one match. Actually, they could drag it out. Like they somehow get distracted by other things in between.
Yeah.
And then run it back at All Out or something like that.
Yeah.
All In, I mean.
My early booking would probably be that they will still revisit this match at Revolution, because there is a gripe. CM Punk can say like, yeah, you did what you did.
Cheated, yeah.
Leave everyone out of the way, blah blah blah, right? Get Wardlow out of the way, like put them in a cage. I don't know, just do something.
Wait, hold on. Are you suggesting that they go from a regular match to a specialty match, but bro, this is AEW. You're supposed to put them in a fucking exploding ring, hell in a cell, kennel in a cell match first. Then you go terbalik.
Terbalik.
Hey, but I mean, this is CM Punk. This is they know what the fuck they're doing. So yeah, obviously the next match will be everyone's barred from ringside, some sort of stipulation. Then you got cage match. Then you build. We know the logic.
You know what I would love?
What?
I don't know whether AEW has done this, but I wouldn't mind an Iron Man match between the two of them.
No, but okay. Here's the thing: they have time limit draws, so an Iron Man match doesn't work. Okay, what is their regular match?
I mean, it's
30
like
minutes?
30 minutes, right? Yeah, but I wouldn't mind like 30-minute Iron Man match, but then they first to a fall. Or...
the Hangman Page Bryan Danielson was 1 hour, right?
Yeah, but it was just a 1 hour Broadway. It was just a regular match.
So you can't do an Iron Man match because they've already done that before on free TV. So there's no specialness to it anymore.
What about, I don't know whether Last Man Standing is too much, because I feel like CM Punk wants to do a old school match, and I don't think Last Man Standing would be the right one. Iron Man seems like the best, but I get what you mean because they've already done it like a long match.
I guess the only difference between Iron Man and a long match is Iron Man, you have multiple pins within the match, right? So it would be different from the Broadway that Bryan Danielson and Hangman Page did. So there is a difference, I suppose, but I think to the casual fan, it feels like, oh, okay, 1 hour match, like nothing special, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, I think the feud intensity-wise will ramp up. It should end in like a cage, probably. That would be the one that makes more sense.
Yeah, just a regular steel cage match. Okay, no need exploding, just steel cage can.
It will be good enough, right?
Yeah. Let them tell their story. You don't need the extra accoutrements to make this feud any better. It's already good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great match overall. I'm so happy that even though it was given on free TV, I felt like it made sense, and I think it builds up anticipation to want to see it on pay-per-view again.
And anyway, like their model is like they only have pay-per-views every few months, so their model is slightly different right now. It's the exact antithesis of the WWE model, where no longer do they have pay-per-views. It's premium live events. So you already paid, man. They can throw shit at the wall. Also, it's like, okay, whatever, you paid for it already. Whether you like the match card, you don't like it, big fuck.
The thing about AEW, right? They really book their weekly shows well ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
And every single weekly show, there's always at least one match that is anticipated that you want to see. So it makes their weekly shows must-see viewing.
Yep.
I feel like I can't skip AEW anymore, even I can skip Raw.
Yeah, as long as you have a certain few groups of people,
always need to have a Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, or CM Punk, MJF. The Chris Jericho hit and miss, like we mentioned. Sometimes great, sometimes shit. Right? What's that meme? I think he was a football coach or something. A little bit good, a little bit shit.
I can't think of that.
You don't remember the meme? Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, anyone on the chat who's listening, please tell us who you can.
There's a meme. I think it was a football coach. He was being asked about the team, and sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. So that's
is it football or NFL?
I think it's it's like Italian.
Jose Mourinho?
No, it's not Jose Mourinho. No, I know who Jose Mourinho is. Anyway, yeah. So super sidetrack there, but it's good things good things on both sides. It's just I feel AEW has more of that freedom to express, especially for the veterans. Whereas on WWE side, everything is sort of very almost, I hate to use the word, but it's very like a very specific box. You know what to expect. You can call things already. They always go to their same olds.
Yeah. WWE at this point in time, they're like a brand, you know, like when it comes to brand, you don't really think about quality. You just think about, I own this brand, I know this brand, I use this brand, whatever.
I hope they don't fall into the UFC sort of pitfall. Like, remember the growth of the UFC? They first of all, at first it was always about like the fighters, right? It was Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. Those were the big characters. Then you had your Anderson Silvas, your of course in GSP, BJ Penn. More recent times, Conor McGregor. Those are huge names. And then along the way, the UFC, they wanted the UFC to be the name. They didn't want to rely on the athletes, because at the end of the day, athletes can go fuck you and run somewhere else, right?
Yep.
So that's what they did. But now when they focus so much on just the UFC brand, like who are the UFC champions now? Can you even name them?
Usman is still a champion right now, right?
I don't know. I haven't had the want to follow the product because, it's sort of kind of like very bland.
Honestly, I stopped
now.
watching when Khabib retired.
Yeah.
He was my guy.
Yeah. So like for me, it was Anderson Silva, it was GSP, that generation. So that was when I stopped paying attention to the WWE. So you still need your stars, but you also need to build up new stars. The problem that UFC had for a long time as well, they were in the Ronda Rousey business. And then she lost. And then, you could have been fucking building up her. What was it? Amanda Nunes that beat her?
It was no, it wasn't. It was Holly Holm that beat her first.
Holly Holm beat her first, yes. Then the other one was Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes was the second time, yeah.
Yeah, like if you remember, I don't know if you watched it, but the build up to that, they never promoted Amanda Nunes at all. She barely got a package. Like
really?
Ronda Rousey had all the package, everything nice. Oh, and here's Amanda Nunes. And then Amanda Nunes beats her, and it's damn embarrassing. It's like, you could have been fucking building a new star.
But here's the problem, right? Like UFC, as much as they want to build their stars, they can only rely on the fighter. The fighter is only as good as their last match, and you can't predict that. You can't like cheat and book that shit.
Yeah. Well, but they can at least promote, you know what I mean or not? If you put the promotion under both equally 50-50, at least whoever win, at least you have a new star.
Yeah.
WWE even has even less of an excuse because they know the fucking end. They know who's going to win already. So you don't have an excuse not to put the promotion behind, whoever, whatever.
I see it from the company's point of view. I see it from the wrestler's point of view. Like as a company, of course, like for example, if you hit your entire life on Stone Cold, then Stone Cold gets injured or he die or some shit happened to him.
He walks out.
Yeah, he walked out. You're fucked, right? As a company. I think maybe that lesson was a bitter lesson. That's why Vince was like, okay, never mind. I don't want to rely on stars. Maybe John Cena was the last time because he was reliable, but we are just gonna make it WWE. But then you're right. Like we as fans, we identify by the wrestlers. We want to support the wrestlers, not the WWE.
Yep. I mean, okay, like to a certain extent, we also like, we get the brand value. Like we understand what we get when we watch a Disney movie or a Marvel movie now, right? We understand surely got a certain quality one. So that's where the WWE is. The problem is like I don't see myself not watching the WWE anymore, So it's like, it's already part of it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, so we are both too deep in this shit, really, bro.
Yeah, so their problem is the future, not the now. The now is fine. It's okay. They might lose a few more fans. Like, they're not actively gaining new fans. You know how they're doing it? Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
they are going out, but that doesn't build your new stars. If you look at the Rumble, how many people did this guy eliminate, for fuck's sake? Bad Bunny and Shane McMahon. Two people who should... Honestly, like if you think about it, right, and it should drive the pro wrestling diehard crazy. These two, as much as we want to give Bad Bunny all the credit, like he super respects the business and all that, right? He's not supposed to be like, if anybody from the street can come in, like a non-professional, quote unquote, a rapper comes in and can eliminate people. Like, wow, it makes your wrestlers look like chumps.
Yeah, that's the worst part. And great point that you brought up, Shane. I mean, you're going to touch on him as a subject in a bit.
Yes.
But like, that's the thing. Like, your final five is like a Shane McMahon and a Bad Bunny. And like 3 guys who are in their 40s, like Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, and like, I think Drew McIntyre is not really a young guy as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's tough. Like, the problem is they have a gap. They have a generation gap. Because like, okay, when it was Undertaker, right? And then after Undertaker, he built like the John Cena, Batista, and like Randy Orton, right? The thing is, at this point in time, Batista, John Cena, and Randy Orton needs to be in WWE, but as the legends, and they need to pass over to the next generation and build up the next generation. But after Cena, only CM Punk came on top. They could have built up more people, but they lost out the opportunity. Like Alberto Del Rio didn't stick, for example. Jack Swagger didn't stick.
Yeah.
Basically, so they lost that extra generation where they were not relevant. And then, like, of course, the Shield came out, the NXT people came out. So that was like a generation after that.
Yeah.
So this gap is the thing that is causing us to lose the ability to build stars, because if the Shield came earlier, then they could have like segued very nicely, right?
So now then you have your Roman Reigns passing the torch on to somewhere else, Seth Rollins, but they're actually one generation earlier than that. So they should be the ones ruling the roost, which I guess in a way, well, okay, if you look at the women's side, like you got Lita coming back, that's about it.
Yeah. But the main story, the main attractions are always the full-timers.
Yeah, that's true. And other than Roman Reigns, you're going to find it hard to find somebody to, fill that
like
spot.
if they actually kept, they were actually building people that could have been the main guys now. Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Even I can even say someone like Nakamura at one point in time.
Oh shit, I wanted to say something. I forgot who.
Don't tell me Jinder Mahal.
Jinder, yes, you read my mind, bro. I wanted to say him, then I forgot. Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, you get it. You get, I mean, like even a Rusev, Bray Wyatt, all these could have been at this point in time like legitimate main event attractions, right?
Yeah, that could be building up the next generation, but they're not there.
Yeah, so now there is no one to put over an Austin Theory.
Other than Finn Balor, who's been so poorly booked anyway, they've fallen. It's become like a Dolph Ziggler situation where he's so open to anything lah. So he keeps losing. Even though he used to be a world champion, it means nothing anymore. Like a Jinder Mahal, another example. You put the title on him. Oh yeah, former WWE champion. He's dangerous. Yeah, okay, yeah, we believe that. Yeah, sure. He's not coming out to job. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And like another problem is all the NXT talents that was primed to be the main event roster attractions all leave or get fired.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like that was that generation that's supposed to come in and be the next one, right? No, bye. They all went to NXT, so NXT has that generation now.
Yeah, and they basically
not NXT, sorry, AEW.
Yeah, they essentially bungle their continuation, their succession plan.
But see, does Vince care? He's gonna retire sooner than later. Like, he's not young anymore. Nick Khan doesn't see the business like that. So he's just like, I'm just looking at dollars and cents. You costing me too much. I don't care that you have a lineage, whatever. Bye-bye. Let's bring in fucking Omos and Aziz.
I've always thought about this quote. Like, I think Vince McMahon is the kind of guy, like, I think back to the NWO quote, he will inject WWE with poison. Like, I feel like he's the guy, like, if I can't be around anymore, I'm just gonna kill what I built.
Give it to Triple H. Well, he's not going to give it to Shane McMahon. And I think now is the perfect time to talk about Shane O'Mac, who, there are a lot of reports, very interesting, and it seems kind of out of character for what we've known Shane to be. But I read one report that said that he was very disruptive as the producer of the Rumble. Usually it would be TJ Wilson, aka Tyson Kidd. Or who else?
Triple H will always be on the Rumble.
Yeah.
Clearly Pat Patterson is not there anymore.
Yeah. So. There was one more guy, I forgot the name already. But yeah. But this time around, apparently Shane had a big hand in producing the Rumble.
Okay, yeah, and apparently he was more concerned with his own booking and booked himself strong.
Yeah, which is like, that's the problem. And he was supposed to be in Elimination Chamber in Jeddah.
Yeah, and have like an actual rivalry going to WrestleMania. No, this is so weird because I don't think Shane is that kind of guy. Like from all the years that not that we know him personally, but like all the backstage stories. But then all of a sudden, suddenly got this character assassination of Shane as the person. Why?
So, okay, question is it a quote-unquote character assassination, or is it somewhere in between where maybe he just wants one more run and he had a lot of ideas and maybe he came across as heavy-handed this time around as opposed to the last few times? You know what I mean? So I think
maybe he was protective of his spot. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, where some people were like, oh no, he like, he was more protective of his spot, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he was just somewhere in between where it came across. Excuse me, I have to sneeze.
Go do it. Yeah. So no, but you're right. Like when I was thinking of like Shane McMahon, right, as a character or as a role, right? Shane is like Prince Charles, bro.
Oh God.
You know why?
Why?
Because he's still waiting to be king, but this Queen Elizabeth just never dies.
Right. No, but do you think that he wants to take over the business from Vince? I don't think so.
I don't think he wants to. I think he wants to be his own man, or at least put a stamp to WWE in his own way. But he knows he will never be able to do that because Vince will never relinquish power.
Yeah, if anything, he will probably give it to Steph. But at this point, it looks like he's gonna give it to Nick Khan, who's the businessman and everything. Yeah. So it just seems like he was gonna come back for a big payday. For we'll get to Saudi Mania, I suppose. Oh, we didn't talk about the other big payday.
Goldberg.
Okay. Let's just wrap things up with Shane McMahon.
Yeah, we gotta wrap things up. Right?
Look, man, Shane McMahon.
It's a weird thing. It's
Yeah.
a weird. It's there's a lot of holes. I don't think we know the full story as of yet.
He probably just came back because it was going to be a big payday, Saudi Mania after all. We all know that's, big money, right? And then he, this time around, just overstepped his bounds and offended some people, in the heat of the moment. And we can say what we want about like the production of this Royal Rumble. It really does, but it does line up though. If you watch the Rumble, it seems like everyone was sort of like, didn't have
not into it.
direction. Like even if you watch the Rumble itself, right? It's like, usually in a Rumble, somebody like, especially of a bigger name, they will
There's
come
a story.
in. Or not just a story. No, they will come in and they will generate heat. All right, let's feed him. So whoever shows up, comes in, he gets a few big moves before they just settle into a corner and starts, beating each other up. This time around, if you watch, 80% of it was new guy comes in, goes in the ring, disappears into the corner fighting somebody. That's it. Not like there's no real like pop moment.
Lack a lot of storytelling, for sure.
And
it was very weird.
so I don't know if it's maybe a combination of everybody not having a proper storyline, or they realize that, we're just doing this for Brock Lesnar to win, so we just half-ass it. And just because Shane McMahon was producing this or helping to produce this, it all fell on him.
Yeah, maybe. And of course, we heard a lot of stories about there's a lot of changes, last minute changes, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of confusion. I think just to wrap up a bow on the story, I think Shane McMahon will forever be tied to WWE. So even if he like forever leaves, right?
Yeah.
Not on talking terms with the father, for example, he can live like 8 years like what he did last time.
Yeah.
And he will still be welcomed back like a hero. I mean, his music is like iconic at this point in time. He just reminds me of what Harvey Dent said in Dark Knight. You either become a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. And that's exactly what happened to Shane McMahon.
Unless, of course, next week. Actually, isn't there a thing where Tony Khan just put out a tweet or something about the Forbidden Door?
Yes,
and he's going on about it, and he's like, watch this Wednesday's Dynamite. I want. Ooh, is he hinting next Wednesday?
It could be a wrestler. It could be a McMahon.
Bro, can you imagine Shane McMahon showing up on Dynamite, the ultimate Forbidden Door? Bro!
I now own AEW. The name on the contract says McMahon.
But it's not Vince. Oh my God, can you imagine if that is what old Tony Khan is referring to?
The thing is, right, Tony Khan sounds like the kind of guy who he is open to collaboration. He seems like the kind of guy who's open to collaboration, but I don't think he wants to, like, people leave WWE to get away from a McMahon. Is it really a good idea to have another McMahon control a rival company?
He's not going to go there as a like a decision maker. He's going to go there as a talent.
I really do not know, but you know what? I would think that I would rather have William Regal appear in AEW, in my opinion.
But
as an authority character.
Maybe. But he's talking about Forbidden Door, macam like they are still signed. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have.
I don't know. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of interesting things to see this week on the. I mean, if you are in the road to WrestleMania, AEW is gonna gearing up towards Revolution. There's a lot of shit happening, bro.
Anyway, Tony Khan is also very good at like overhyping stuff. So it could be like freaking,
Yeah, remember when he like hyped a legend and came out, it was Christian? I mean, okay, like Christian was good.
Okay, yeah, exactly. This guy, Oni Lorcan, shows up.
Fuck off. lah.
The Brian Kendrick apparently showed up. He's all elite. And then what was the whole story with Brian Kendrick? He had a match.
Apparently, he some tweets resurfaced from the past that he was he was a Holocaust denier or some shit like that.
Oh, so they cut the match lah because of that.
Yeah, very last minute. They gave Wheeler Yuta that spot, but Brian Kendrick is like super old already. Like I don't know what else is there left for him to do in the business, right?
Maybe he's there to train, or like he'll have a match. Like AEW likes to do that, right? They will so and so just based on WWE name value or just name value in general. They're like, this person is all elite, and then after that they disappear into dark.
I feel like there's enough talent out there on the free agency to create a viable third company. Like I think there's too much in AEW already. I think they can
Impact. Impact.
Impact could really go back to its old glory if they.
Meanwhile, they are fucking Danhausen is all elite. Like, look, I know nothing about Danhausen, but I can guarantee you this fella is going to be the next Orange Cassidy. He's going to be like a joke act comedy.
He's already together with Orange Cassidy on TV, bro.
Wow, so that whole group is like, okay, you know what to expect already lah.
Yeah. I mean, if they take out one joke in Marco Star, they need to replace with another one.
Okay, we'll wait and see what he actually brings to the table before we judge. Okay, the last thing we'll mention is Goldberg is back for the money, cause Saudi Mania dollars, baby. He's going to be challenging Roman Reigns. Look, when I saw the social media post, because like I said, I haven't watched SmackDown yet, I was like, okay, like makes sense, because Roman Reigns needs a dance partner for Saudi, and he doesn't have anybody. He needs a credible threat. So okay lah, throw in Goldberg. Apparently he still has some name value. Have them fight with each other. Obviously Roman Reigns is going to win.
Yeah, and this apparently is his last match that he has on his contract for this year. So okay lah, get it out of the way.
Bro, Saudi Mania next year he will come back, man. Guarantee you. They love him apparently.
No, but the thing is, I like how he can anytime just come back and just challenge for the title like it's nothing.
Yeah. Like he isn't like 1,000 years old and fucking...
He like entitled to a title match anytime he wants.
Yeah, he got free pass, a lifetime free pass to title matches. Hey, so wait, like the whole issue with Bobby finished already, right?
No, so the Bobby Lashley situation is settled on Raw, right? But then the Lesnar situation and it's like happening but still not happening, but he can't really go to Roman yet because he's now in the Raw situation in the chamber. So I get it that Roman needs a guy in the meantime, and it's supposed to be a run back of like their rivalry 2 years ago that stopped because of the pandemic, right?
Yeah, but like I mean, who cares?
No one wants to see this match. Like, let's agree, right?
Nobody.
But I think for legacy's sake, it would be great that Roman Reigns beat his ass at Saudi Mania and like can add that to the another wrestler that he beat in this long historic title reign.
How would you even book this match? A squash? I would fucking just have him get squashed. But we all know that Goldberg has a say in his matches. Like he's not gonna allow himself to be squashed by a Roman Reigns, right?
I think Goldberg will pass out from the guillotine choke. That's what's gonna happen.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah. He will spear Roman Reigns, but as he falls to the ground, Roman Reigns holds him in the choke and then chokes him out, like a Bret Hart and Goldberg situation.
Right. There you go. Okay, sure. And then he doesn't tap because he's such a man, right? But he just couldn't fight off the dominant heel champion that is Roman Reigns. You know what? I really hope though this match there's no shenanigans. Yeah. But I think there will be just to protect Goldberg.
It is what it is.
Yeah, maybe Sandberg will try to get involved, and then like the Usos will beat him up, and then Goldberg will be like, "You hit my son," and then distraction, he gets hit.
Saudi Mania in 2050, Sandberg versus Dominic Mysterio for the Sun Battle of the Suns Championship. Oh my god.
Okay, so there we go. That's this week in pro wrestling. Next week we will be previewing properly Elimination Chamber.
Yes, of course, there's a lot of stories, probably a lot of news stories that will happen by then as well.
Quite a few matches that have been announced already, but we'll get into that as we come along. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast here today. I know we're not live today, but we appreciate that you're here. If you're listening to this on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well, and wherever else you got your podcasts, we thank you so very much. Hey, go on to our social medias, come say hi, and like we always say, we love to continue the conversation on our Discord channel. It's in the description on YouTube. The links are everywhere on our socials. Very hard to miss one.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, for those of you who are going to be watching Pro Wrestling Local Live, Pro Wrestling Live locally, finally, with Grapple Max, please send us like results or like just tag us if you're there. I want to, I want to know what's going on over there, and please enjoy yourself and watch wrestling safe.
Hopefully by next Monday, we will also get a video of the event itself so we can, sort of weigh in and we can check it out for ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we said, we didn't manage to get tickets because, fastest fingers first. These tickets just flew off the shelves. But we can't wait to get back to actually being there live to watch local wrestling. Here's the thing though. Okay, here's the thing. When we used to go to these live wrestling events, right? It would be hard for me to concentrate on the match because I'm taking notes. And when you're taking notes, you're not concentrating on the match. So in a way, I'm like, okay, actually watching a video might be better, but nothing can replicate the live vibe you get when you are there. Nothing can replicate that. So enjoy the matches if you are going to be there. And everybody stay safe, okay? Thank you so much for being here. We have a Patreon page. Link is below if you think, hey, these guys need a little bit of my support. Any tier will be much appreciated. Thank you so much for being here. Also, if you're celebrating, Happy Lunar New Year as well. Okay, it's Mr. Young.
And it's Far in the building. Take care.
Kick to the gut. I like it.